Jessica Taneja, DD India correspondent, joins us in the studio now. Jessica, yes, first of all, Indian dairy farmers and are expected to benefit significantly as per the terms of this FTA. Could you highlight the significant aspects of this FTA for us?
Well, the formal signing of this agreement is expected in the first quarter of next year, where they've legally scrutinized it and ironed out all the details that are expected to now come through with this FTA now come into force with the announcement. But the significant part of this FTA, which Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal also highlighted, was the fact that given the population of New Zealand, this is a significant, free trade agreement that they have been able to sort of come around with in terms of negotiations. It was done in a record time of 9 months. And more importantly, it is bringing in $20 billion worth of investments in the next 15 years when the reporters had asked the ministers and the team, the negotiating team, they were of the view that there could be investments in various sectors, for example, in manufacturing, in infra, developing and building resilient supply chains given the kind of economic heft that India comes with. So that's one sector, but also looking at India's engineering products, electronics, auto parts. These are very important components of exports. And with New Zealand now granting export-free, in fact, complete duty-free exports to their market, it certainly does at the same time ensure that this becomes more lucrative for the Indian exporters who are now looking to diversify their products as well as into the markets because of the because of the uncertainties that we see around tariffs and also various confrontations that are happening on various borders. So the Indian exporters have seen how the 25% additional tariffs are hurting them. So they've also been able to get more market access, which would ensure duty-free exports. And here, all Indian products get duty-free exports. So that certainly makes it significant, whereas India is offering, its sectors as well, except, of course, dairy, which Minister Goyal said that is a sensitive sector and they wanted to protect the farmers and the agricultural sector as well. But at the same time, they say that this is an important deal and in the next 15 years, there's a lot that can be expected in terms of India and New Zealand.
Partnership, yeah. So apart from products, what about the student exchange movement between India and New Zealand, and also talk us through the visa norms that have also been eased for the Indian workers?
Right, and that was an important announcement made by him, and those negotiations are not easy to sort of reach a finalization of sorts, because mobility and engagement is one of the contentious issues given how immigrations and customs enforcement in various countries function. But when it comes to New Zealand, starting with the students, the minister announced that students will get a 2-year work visa. A 3-year degree course students will get, a degree course student would get 3 years work visa. And similarly for other graduates in STEM as well, 4-year work visa for, in fact, STEM students, focusing the enhancement when it comes to, promoting education in scientific, world and contribution to the research and development projects. He also said that 5,000 professionals like yoga practitioners, nurses, chefs and caregivers, they will be given professional visas. So certainly these norms, as and when they're eased, would promote more trade, efficiency, and also give the Indian exporters, another market to access, because there are markets that the Indian exporters are thriving at this point, but at the same time, given the kind of uncertainty and the change in, world order in terms of how countries trade with each other, it's changing rapidly, it's evolving. So are the Indian exporters looking to sort of benefit from it and find their own options in whichever country they feel fit.
Okay. The Commerce Minister praised the all-women team of this all-women team negotiating with the New Zealand side. So let's emphasize that point also in our discussion. The minister said that India has now free trade agreements with 3 I countries out of the 5, with the UK, Australia and New Zealand now. So are we closer to inching a trade deal with the US and, of course, Canada?
Well, he did mention, and there was a question, put forth about where is the trade deal or the negotiations or discussions with the United States and other countries. But he did seem to point out that with the United States, at least it's in the advanced stages. You had the United States trade representative team also visit New Delhi just more than a week ago. So it is moving along, but at the same time, there are a lot of decision makings which, of course, happened with the US president. But that's America. When it comes to Five Eyes, you already had a trade deal with Britain this year, which was quite significant in its own way. You also had a trade deal with Australia, which has been a long partner, also part of the Quad. So again, an important strategic partner for India, apart from the United States. And again, now we have New Zealand with, relationships gradually looking quite warm with Prime Minister of New Zealand as well. They've had several exchanges. He even had a visit to India where, the business forum was engaged. So in terms of, how the investments coming in from New Zealand and, of course, the third country with whom India has now had a free trade agreement, or at least now with the finalization and signing later on, is New Zealand. And it marks an important point. With Canada, he said that they're discussing the terms of reference with Canada. So that also looks like pretty much on the path of you could have something in the next year. And of course, the first quarter of next year, this FTA would be formally signed. Tanvi.
All right. Jessica, India has said that as a result of the FTA, New Zealand could invest $20 billion in India over the next 15 years. In which areas is such an investment likely to be forthcoming, and what could be the specific gains for India here?
Right, and the $20 billion that is going to be invested in the next 15 years, he did point out that, of course, it will be in the manufacturing sector, it will be the infrastructure sector, but it will also depend on the coming years as to which sectors are prioritized, given the kind of discussions that have been taking place with the New Zealand side. So, of course, that will remain to be open. Those options, as Petal Dillon, who is the chief negotiator for this FTA on the Indian side with the New Zealand, and also forgot to point out that the women-led team in this achieved this important task in about 9 months, and all women-led, and I think the union minister did not shy away from pointing out that this is how effectively things can be done when women are at the helm of affairs. So,
on that note,
good example.
Thank you very much, Jessica, for explaining to us the details of this FTA. Yes, the formal signing will come in the first half of next year.